Good morning. The basic ideology of every religion was that social integrity, purity in morality, proper ethics, and family bonding. But unfortunately, which was prevailing in our Indian culture and the Indian geographical area, is being disturbed one after another. They have allowed living in relationship as legal. They scrapped 497 IPC, declaring adultery is not an offense. Then a step ahead, they said 377 to some extent is legal. 377 IPC. It's all right, whatever it may be. I want to share a judgment. It may help you, it may not help you, and whether the judgment will sustain before the apex court. It's all our question of mixed question of law and fact. Okay. AR 2022 Karnataka 38 Gayatri Alice Gadigeva versus Vijaya Siddhappa Adimani. See, the husband filed an application under Order 16 Rule 1. It's also to be noted. Whenever you want to summon the document, you should file an application under Section 12 of the Family Court Act, read with the Order 16 Rule 1. He summoned a document, summoned the witness to produce document, doctor, who to prove that the wife underwent abortion. That was allowed by the lower court, namely the family court, Dharwad. But subsequently, the wife went to Supreme Court, High Court of Karnataka. They relied Sharda versus Dharampal, reported in AR 2003 XC 3450, and Mr. X versus Hospital Z, that is being taught when constitutional right of privacy is being taught. That a person who was suffering from HIV positive, when the documents required, the government, the court, Supreme Court held that that may not be supplied. Then they have also referred Indian Medical Council Professional Conduct, Etiquette and Ethics Regulation 2002. That you should also download it and go through a glance, so that at the time of class examining doctors, we can put so many questions by referring this regulation. Regulation 7.14. What 7.14 says? Registered medical practitioner shall not disclose the secrets of a patient that have been learnt in the exercise of his or profession, except in a court of law or orders of presiding judge, or in circumstances where there is a serious and identified risk to a specific person or community, or notifiable diseases. In case of communicable notifiable disease, concerned public health authorities should be informed immediately. This is what they say. But the Karnataka High Court says, merely because court of law possesses that power to direct the medical practitioner to divulge a secret codified with medical practice, that power would not and should not be exercised merely for the asking or routinely. The power to direct a medical practitioner to act in violation of his declaration should be exercised only for strong and compelling reasons, and would be more or less be exercised only when element of public interest was involved. This is what they say. Then again, case Pattusamy case that related to Aadhaar card, they have discussed. Then they say they discussed about what is privacy, spatial control, decisional autonomy, informal informational control, that is called privacy. Then contextual integrity also been discussed. Then finally they say privacy includes at its core the preservation of personal intimacies, the sanctity of family life, marriage, procreation, the home and sexual orientation. All these have been discussed. Then they say also you should go through what section 126 of Evidence Act, which gives a privilege to vakil, barrister or pleader from divulging communication from his client. Then they also says 151 and 152 of the Indian Evidence Act prohibits indecent or scandalous questions and also questions which are intent to insult or annoy the witness from being asked. So finally they say that is after reading all those things, the privilege was available to wife. Then comes under section 14 of the Family Code. The court to receive evidence which is otherwise inadmissible under Evidence Act in order to assist it in dealing effectively with a dispute. That power cannot be extended to commit a breach of the sacred obligations cast on a medical practitioner to maintain the doctor-patient confidentiality or intrude on the fundamental right of privacy. So you must first keep in mind that Family Court Act has got enormous power to override or give off to certain provisions of Indian Evidence Act. So far family court proceedings are concerned, even the documents or witnesses which are inadmissible under Indian evidence may be allowed under family court proceeding. That is what section 14 says. Then they, after finaling this, now they say this even though this document, even if it is called, that is not sufficient to prove that she is living in adulterous life. So that was, they say, the living in adultery is the most important under 125 as well as other proceedings. So one time sleeping is not living in adultery. That is the most important thing. So they say in any event, the illicit relationship of a spouse cannot be proved by securing his or his private medical records. In fact, this approach is to be accepted. It would mount to the destruction of the entire concept of doctor and patient's confidentiality and also drag the doctor into marital dispute. Therefore, this impugned order cannot be sustained. They set aside it. IA was rejected by the High Court. So, subject to this, definitely this case may go to Supreme Court. Let us wait for Supreme Court. But however, by reading the judgment, I have take you to so many provisions of CPC, Indian Evidence Act, Constitution, the important judgments, and medical practitioners regulations, section 14 of Family Court Act and other things. So this is most important. See, I was prepared, I have already prepared a deep analytical history, the value of so many religions prevailed all over the world when civilization at the river banks were started. Scandinavian civilizations, Egyptian civilization, Romanian civilizations, Confucius, Yellow River civilizations, Indus Valley civilization. Then question arises, Egypt, Nile River civilizations, Indus Valley civilizations, then the civilization of Dravidian people, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa civilizations. Apart from that, I would like to discuss that the very purpose of the religious leader who flowed the religion, for what purpose and how to deceive the people and to make them subordinate to him and to rank his position with the courtyard next to the king so that he could do lot of things. Best wishes.